Are you sure you won't regret cutting your hair? Because let's be honest, some women chop it off and feel fabulous, while others instantly wish they could glue it back on. Before you make the cut, let's talk about what really happens when you go short. The good, the bad, and the unexpected. Stay with me because by the end of this video, you'll know for sure whether or not cutting your hair is the right move for you. Let's start with the why. Are you thinking about cutting your hair short because you genuinely crave a fresh, modern look? Or is it because people around you keep dropping hints, saying things like, women over 50 should have short hair, or long hair isn't flattering as you age? If it's the latter, pause for a second and take a deep breath. There is absolutely no rule, written or unwritten, that says you must cut your hair just because you've hit a certain age. The idea that long hair is only for younger women is completely outdated. We are not living in the 1950s anymore, where beauty rules were rigid and women were expected to adopt a certain look after a certain age. Thankfully, beauty standards have evolved, and women today have the freedom to wear their hair however they choose. If you love your long hair, if it makes you feel confident, if you enjoy styling it, then keep it. There is nothing magical about turning 50, 60, or even 70 that means you suddenly have to say goodbye to your length, your hair, your rules. But what if your long hair has started to feel like more of a burden than a joy? Maybe it takes forever to dry after a shower. Maybe it feels heavy and you find yourself pulling it up into a ponytail or bun more often than actually wearing it down. Or maybe your hair isn't what it used to be. If it's thinning, losing volume, or becoming harder to manage, then a shorter style might be exactly what you need to refresh your look and make your life easier. Before you make any drastic decisions, take a moment to reflect on what you really want. Do you find yourself constantly wishing for a hairstyle that's easier to maintain? Have you been looking for something that lifts your features and gives you a more youthful, vibrant appearance? Or are you just bored with your current look and craving a change? These are important questions to ask yourself because the why behind your decision will determine how you feel about it later. If you're cutting your hair because of pressure from others, you might end up regretting it. But if you're doing it because you want a fresh start, it could be the best decision you've made in years. If you're nodding along thinking, yes, I need something different, then stay with me because the next part might just surprise you. Let's talk about the real benefits of going short and some of the challenges you might not expect. So, let's talk about the reasons why going short might just be the best decision you ever make. There are some major benefits, and if you're on the fence, these might be exactly what you need to hear. Pro tip number 1. A great short haircut can do absolute wonders for your face. The right cut can instantly lift your features, define your jawline, highlight your cheekbones, and make your entire look feel fresh and modern. Shorter styles have a natural way of opening up the face, creating a more youthful and energetic appearance. Unlike long hair, which can sometimes drag the face down, a well-styled pixie, bob, or layered shortcut adds structure and volume. A major bonus if your hair has started to thin over the years. Many women over 50 actually find that short hair makes them look younger because it frames the face in a way that softens fine lines and draws attention to the eyes and cheekbones. A well-cut short style brings out your best features in a way that long hair often can't. If you've ever looked in the mirror and felt like your hair was making you look tired or weighed down, a fresh shortcut might be exactly what you need to wake up your look and add vibrancy. And let's talk about confidence because short hair has a way of making a statement. A chic, modern cut gives off an effortlessly polished and put-together vibe that says, I know who I am and I own it. There's something undeniably empowering about rocking a style that feels bold, confident, and completely you. Short hair isn't just a haircut, it's a look that says, I'm embracing this stage of life with style and confidence. Of course, a youthful look isn't just about hair length, it's about finding a style that works for your face shape, hair texture, and personal aesthetic. The key is choosing the right cut for your features and lifestyle. A softly layered bob, for example, can add movement and volume without feeling too harsh, while a pixie cut can give you an edgy yet elegant style that's full of personality. If you've been feeling like your long hair is hiding your best features or making you look older than you feel, it might be time for a change. But looking younger isn't the only reason to consider going short. If you're tired of spending forever styling your hair, this next one is going to be a game changer. If you've ever felt like your hair is running your life, cutting it short might be exactly what you need. Think about all the time you spend washing, drying, and styling your hair. Long hair can take forever to air dry, and if you use a blow dryer, you know the struggle of standing there for what feels like ages, trying to get every last strand dry. With short hair, you're done in minutes. A quick towel dry, a little styling product, and maybe a short pass with the dryer, and you're out the door. No more wasting precious time wrestling with your hair every morning. And let's talk about styling. If you've ever battled tangles, frizz, or stubbornly flat hair, you already know how frustrating long hair can be. Short hair eliminates so many of those daily struggles. Most short styles only need a little mousse, a spritz of texturizing spray, or a quick blow dry to look polished and effortless. No more spending half an hour trying to get your hair just right. Short hair works with you, not against you. But here's something you might not have considered. Shorter hair can actually be healthier hair. Long hair is more prone to split ends, dryness, and breakage, especially if you've been coloring it for years. If your hair has become brittle or lacks shine, a shorter style lets you start fresh with stronger, healthier strands. You're essentially cutting away the damage and giving your hair a fresh start. But don't get too comfortable yet, because while short hair does come with some serious perks, it's not completely hassle-free. As we age, our hair naturally changes. It may become finer, lose density, or even start to thin out in certain areas. This is completely normal, but it can make long hair look flat, limp, or harder to manage. The weight of long hair pulls it down, making it harder to create volume at the roots without a lot of styling effort. If you've ever spent way too much time teasing your roots, layering in volumizing products, or trying to coax your hair into looking fuller, only to have it fall flat within hours, you know exactly what I mean. This is where the right short haircut works its magic. Styles like a stacked bob, textured pixie, or layered crop remove excess weight and add natural movement. With strategic layering, these cuts can create the illusion of thicker, fuller hair. The shorter length lifts the strands, giving them more body without requiring endless rounds of blow-drying, curling, or root-boosting sprays. And let's talk about something real: hair loss. Many women experience thinning at the crown, temples, or part line over time. The beauty of a well-designed shortcut is that it can camouflage these areas, making sparse spots less obvious. The right texture and shape can direct attention away from thinning zones and create the appearance of a fuller head of hair. Plus, a shorter length makes it easier to incorporate volumizing mousses, texturizing sprays, or lightweight styling products that enhance the body without weighing the hair down. So, if your long hair is starting to feel lifeless and frustrating, don't be afraid to go shorter. The right cut could be the game changer that gives your hair a whole new lease on life. But before you grab the scissors, remember, short hair isn't for everyone. There are a few things you need to think about before making the cut. Short hair might sound like the perfect solution. It seems easier, lighter, and more youthful. But before you book that salon appointment, let's get real about what it actually means to have a shorter cut. Because while short hair has its perks, it also comes with a few challenges that many women don't think about until it's too late. Here's the thing no one tells you: short hair actually requires more maintenance than you might expect. While long hair can go months without a trim and still look fine, short hair needs constant upkeep to keep its shape. Layers start to fall awkwardly, ends lose their crispness, and suddenly your chic, polished cut is looking flat or uneven. Most short styles need a trim every 4 to 6 weeks to stay looking fresh. If you're someone who loves the idea of waking up with a perfectly shaped style, this might not be a deal breaker. But if you don't want to be in the salon chair that often, you might want to think twice before making the big chop. And that's not the only inconvenience. Short hair also takes away one of the easiest styling shortcuts we all rely on. Let's be honest. One of the biggest perks of long hair is the ability to throw it into a ponytail, bun, or clip when you just don't feel like styling it. Having a bad hair day? No problem, just pull it back. Running late? A messy bun can instantly save the day, need to look put together in seconds. A sleek ponytail always does the trick. Long hair gives you options, even on the days when you don't want to deal with it. But with short hair, you lose that convenience. If you wake up with a bedhead or your hair decides to go in 5 different directions overnight, you can't just tie it up and move on with your day. You'll likely have to wet it down, blow dry, or use styling products every single morning just to get it looking presentable. That means more time in front of the mirror. Something to think about if you're used to low maintenance mornings. And here's something that many women don't realize until after they cut their hair. Short styles don't always work for every lifestyle. If you're someone who regularly exercises, gardens, or spends a lot of time outdoors, you might find yourself missing your ponytail more than you expected. Yes, short hair can feel amazing in warm weather, but without the ability to pull it back, it can also be frustrating. On hot, humid, or sweaty days, short hair can stick to your face and neck, making you wish for even just a tiny bit of length to throw up into a quick ponytail. So, before you make the chop, think about your daily routine. Do you love the ability to tie your hair back at a moment's notice? Do you prefer minimal styling in the mornings? If so, cutting your hair might be a bigger adjustment than you realize. But if losing your go-to ponytail isn't enough to make you hesitate, think about what happens after you cut it. Because growing it back isn't as simple as you might hope. If you regret cutting your hair, you're in for a long journey back to longer locks. Hair typically grows about ½ inch per month, which sounds reasonable until you do the math. If you chop your hair into a pixie but decide you miss your shoulder-length style, you're looking at least a year or 2 of growing it out. And if your goal is mid-back length, buckle up, because that could take 3 years or more depending on how fast your hair grows. And here's the tricky part. Growing out a shortcut isn't as simple as just letting it grow. It's not like one day you have a short bob and the next day it magically turns into long, flowing layers. There are multiple awkward in-between stages where your hair won't quite know what it wants to do. The transition from a pixie to a bob can feel endless, with pieces sticking out in random directions. Then, from a bob to shoulder length, you might notice that layers grow unevenly, bangs fall into your eyes, and your hair starts looking shapeless. It's a frustrating process that requires patience and a good hairstylist to help shape it along the way. Many women find themselves getting so impatient with the awkward phases that they end up cutting it short again just to avoid dealing with the in-between lengths. It's a cycle that can be hard to break. If you're someone who likes the idea of effortless hair growth, just know that going short means committing to a long road if you ever decide you want your length back. So if you're not 100% sure about making the big chop, here's a tip. Test it out first. Try a faux short style by tucking your hair under and pinning it, or experiment with a short wig to see how you feel. Sometimes the idea of short hair is more exciting than the reality of maintaining it. Testing it out first can help you decide if a shorter style is really for you before making a commitment that takes years to reverse. Now, let's talk about why you might want to hold on to your length. While short hair has plenty of benefits, long hair has its own list of reasons to stay right where it is. If you love your length but feel pressured to cut it just because of your age, don't let outdated beauty rules dictate your decision. Long hair can be just as chic, modern, and flattering as a shortcut. You just have to know how to work with it. One of the biggest advantages of long hair is how many ways you can style it. If you love playing around with different looks, long hair gives you endless possibilities. You can curl it, straighten it, wear it up, braid it, or do a sleek ponytail. Whether you're going for soft waves, a polished blowout, or an elegant chignon, long hair gives you options. And if you're worried about looking polished, don't think that only short hair gives you that put-together feel. A sophisticated low bun, voluminous layers, or soft face-framing waves can be just as elegant as a cropped cut without the commitment. But styling isn't the only reason to hold on to your length. Long hair can also save you from those constant trips to the salon. Unlike short hair, which needs constant shaping to maintain its style, long hair doesn't need to be trimmed as often. If you're someone who prefers fewer salon visits, this is a major perk. You can go 8 to 12 weeks, or even longer, without needing a haircut, especially if your hair is in good condition. And let's be honest, frequent salon visits can be expensive. If you prefer to keep your hair care routine simple and low maintenance, keeping your hair long might be the better option. But before you get too comfortable, let's talk about the downsides of keeping it long, because while long hair is beautiful, it does require effort. Long hair is gorgeous, but it also takes a lot more time and effort to keep it looking its best. Washing and drying can be a process, and if you style your hair daily, you could be spending 30 minutes or more just getting your hair ready in the morning. If you've ever struggled with tangles, frizz, or hair that just won't cooperate, you know how exhausting it can be. And let's not forget product build-up. Long hair often needs more conditioning treatments, heat protectants, and styling products to keep it looking fresh and healthy. If you're at a point in life where you want to simplify your routine and free up time in your day, long hair might start to feel more like a chore than a beauty statement. And beyond the time commitment, there's something else to think about: how long hair actually affects your overall look. This one is tricky, and it all comes down to how you wear it. Long hair can be incredibly youthful and flattering, but if it's thin, unstyled, or lacking volume, it can sometimes have the opposite effect. As we age, hair naturally changes. It can become finer, drier, or start thinning at the crown. Long, limp hair can drag your features down and make you look older than you actually are. But don't worry, this doesn't mean you have to cut it. You just need the right shape and texture. If you're holding on to long hair, consider adding layers for movement, face-framing pieces to soften your features, and volume-boosting techniques to keep it looking fresh. The key is to avoid hair that looks too flat or weighed down, because that is what can add years to your appearance. So, now that we've laid out the pros and cons of short versus long hair, how do you actually decide what's right for you? Let's wrap this up and help you figure out your perfect choice. Alright, so after weighing all the pros and cons, what's the final verdict? Should you take the plunge and go for the chop, or is it better to keep your length? The truth is, there's no one-size-fits-all answer. The best decision is the one that makes you feel the most confident, beautiful, and in control of your own style. But if you're still on the fence, let's break it down in the simplest way possible. You should cut your hair if you're ready for a fresh, modern look that's effortless, chic, and gives you an instant style upgrade. A well-cut short hairstyle can do wonders for lifting your features, adding volume to thinning hair, and making your daily routine quicker and easier. If your hair has lost some of its body or has become fine over time, a shorter cut can instantly create shape and fullness, making it look healthier and more youthful. And let's be honest, there's something undeniably empowering about a great short haircut. It can redefine your whole look and give you that "I'm in charge" kind of confidence. But before you book that salon appointment, there's one thing to consider. Short hair isn't entirely effortless. While it might be easier to style on a daily basis, it does require regular upkeep. To keep it looking sharp and polished, you'll need trims every 4 to 6 weeks. And depending on the cut, you may need to put in a little styling effort each morning, whether it's adding some texture with a styling cream or quickly running a flat iron through it. So, if you're okay with a bit more maintenance, but love the idea of a chic, low-fuss style that gives you an instant lift, short hair might be your perfect match. On the other hand, you should keep your hair long if you love versatility and the ability to switch up your style whenever you feel like it. Long hair gives you options. You can wear it sleek and straight, add soft waves, braid it, or pull it into an elegant updo. If you're someone who enjoys experimenting with different looks, longer hair gives you that freedom. It's also a great choice if you prefer fewer trips to the salon, since long hair doesn't require as many trims to maintain its shape. And here's something important. If your hair is still thick, healthy, and manageable, there's absolutely no reason to cut it just because of age. Forget those outdated rules that say women over 50 need to go short. If you love your long hair and it works for your lifestyle, keep it. You can always freshen it up with soft layers, face framing pieces, or a new color to keep it looking vibrant and modern. Still torn between short and long? Then meet the perfect compromise. The lob or long bob, a shoulder-length lob gives you the best of both worlds. It's short enough to feel fresh and stylish, but long enough to pull back into a ponytail when needed. Plus, it's a great way to test the waters. If you love it, you can always go shorter later. And if you don't? Growing out a lob is so much easier than growing out a pixie cut. At the end of the day, the best haircut is the one that makes you feel amazing. Forget age rules, forget trends. Your hair is yours, and you should wear it however makes you feel the most confident and beautiful. So whether you decide to embrace a short, sassy style or keep your long, flowing locks, just make sure it's a choice that makes you happy. Now, I want to hear from you. Are you team short hair or team long hair? Drop a comment below and tell me about your experience. And if you enjoyed watching this video, I think you will definitely love this next one.